We've spoken a lot about weight loss jabs on this show, but now a death has been linked to the jabs for the very first time in the UK.
It was only back in August when 58-year-old nurse Susan McGowan took 2 low-dose injections of the NHS-approved weight loss drug Tirzepatide.
However, just 2 weeks into administering the injections, Susan tragically passed away, with her death certificate being the first to officially link a slimming jab to a death in the UK.
Here to speak about her aunt's life and raise awareness is Susan's niece Jade, alongside bariatric surgeon Mr. Shaw Somers. Thank you guys for joining us today. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So,
Thank you
for being here. Can you first of all paint a picture? Tell us a little bit about Susan.
Gladly.
No.
So firstly, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Susan was the life and soul of any room that you walked into. She was really generous, she was kind. You were almost scared to say when you needed something because the next day she'd have it at your doorstep.
Oh, she's so lovely.
Yeah, she was. And
she had a good laugh, didn't she? I heard she had a great laugh.
Yeah, brilliant laugh. She was just a character, and I think a lot of people have said there's just no one like her, and there isn't going to be anyone else like her. Really, really bubbly, and missed by a lot of people. Yeah,
she was loved on the ward, wasn't she? She was a nurse and everyone loved
her. Yeah, so Susan actually, she worked in the ward for years and years, and then she became a bed manager at the hospital as well. So she was in and out of every possible ward in that hospital. So she knew a lot of people. So yeah, there's a lot of sadness around that hospital just now without her.
And did she struggle with her weight for a while? What was her weight loss journey?
Yeah, so I would say, like anyone, she wanted to lose weight, you know, and she tried a lot of different things. She tried Slimming World, she was at the gym for, a number of years as well. Life got really busy. She cared for her mum at home, so my gran at home for, 12 years, 13 years. So life just got really busy. And when my gran had passed away, Susan, took time, dealt with things. And then a couple of years ago, she decided, right, we're going to sell this house and she's going to get her own place. So this year was the first year that she bought her own place, and she was just ready to have a new lease of life. She had booked numerous holidays abroad, so she just wanted to look good and feel good for going on all those holidays and weddings that were coming up as well.
Like we all do.
Yeah,
we all want to,
exactly.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So did she talk to you about actually having the weight loss drug?
Yeah, so she did. She contacted me. Susan and I were very close, so she told me everything.
Yeah.
So she told me when she was thinking about ordering it, and there was no really talking Susan out of anything. She was quite headstrong, so when she had her mind set on something, she was probably going to do it, no matter what you said against it.
But I'm sure she researched it, because she's a nurse.
I
think she would have probably gone into it quite deeply, would you?
She did. So she spoke to colleagues, she spoke to pharmacists, and yeah, she did her own research as well. I think when I started researching it and trying to find out more about it, and I think just kind of the complications that could maybe happen afterwards, there wasn't a lot out there.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of studies out there, and there wasn't a lot to know. Even when you researched online, the studies are minimal right now about these injections.
Well, because it
less
is
than 2 years.
Still quite new, so the studies are still kind of catching up at the same time. But after she started taking the treatment, I think she took 2 injections?
She did,
right.
Yeah, so she took 2.
And then things kind of really progressed really quickly and got very dangerous very quickly.
Yeah. So Susan took them on a Tuesday, so the second Tuesday. She was feeling okay the first week. She didn't really feel much except the loss of appetite.
Yeah.
And then into her second week, she had no appetite and no thirst either. So she was just struggling to hydrate herself. And I think that's what came out, especially her first day in hospital. They said everything inside was bone dry. So she hadn't hydrated herself because she didn't feel that thirst that second week.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and it was very, very quick. So when she went into hospital, she'd only had really stomach pains for 2 days before that. So the Friday night following the second injection, and then the Saturday night as well. And she had severe sickness all night on the Saturday. So everything hit her extremely quickly, very quickly, before she took herself down to A&E on the Sunday morning.
So she phoned up A&E and she went down?
Yeah, she took herself in a taxi, and I still get angry at that right now. Why wouldn't she phone? To have someone take her, but that was just Susan. I think she just kind of tried to handle things on her own as well, and that was just her personality, to be honest.
And when she got to the hospital, what was the hospital's reaction? What was the information that was available to you?
So I got a phone call from her just as soon as she got into the hospital, the A&E. We went down, a couple of family members went down, and she was extremely honest about what she had taken. So I think she knew from the minute she went in hospital what had caused her to go into hospital.
Yeah.
There was no other changes to her kind of lifestyle other than this injection in those last couple of weeks. So she was angry at herself for taking them. She was telling me on the Sunday, I promise never to take them again. Like, I'll never touch them again. Jade, take them, get them out my fridge and put them in the bin. Yeah, she was really upset just knowing that could be what caused it. And she was really honest with her doctors when she went in as well. Yeah, she wanted to make sure they knew the whole story and they could try and do everything they could to possibly help her.
And then things deteriorated really quickly.
They did, yeah. So on the Sunday, Susan, yes, she was just very dehydrated. She was getting full of fluids. And I can't fault the hospital. They did everything they possibly could for her. I think just things had gone too far for her. She spent 2 days in the ward before she went into the ICU. And when she was in the ICU, it was just deteriorating very, very quickly.
She did, unfortunately, sadly pass away. You were by her side.
Yeah, her whole family, yeah.
Her family.
Not just me, it was every person closest to her was at that hospital. And they made sure they were there the full time she was in ICU. No one wanted to leave her bedside, and no one did.
Awful.
Well, let's talk to Dr. Shaw this morning. Hi.
Good morning, Dr. Shaw.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Jade. I'm very sorry to hear about Susan. I read about the report, and it's clearly a tragedy for your family and tragedy for all those struggling with their weight who need something to give them hope to find a way of losing weight.
What do we know about this drug, though, Dr. Somers? What do we know about Tirzepatide?
So it's one of a class of drugs that was originally designed to treat diabetes, and it's very, very good at helping to control diabetes by changing the way the metabolism works and by increasing the body's sensitivity to its own insulin, so diabetes gets better. But the clinicians that were using it 10 years ago or so discovered that it would also reduce the appetite, and most patients who were on it lost weight. And so it didn't take much of a leap to sort of think of using it as a weight loss drug in people who aren't diabetic. And it does work very well. And in general, it's very, very safe compared to either staying big or to some of the other treatments that we use to manage excessive weight. Now, in Susan's case, unfortunately, she had that unfortunate combination of having gallstones and taking the drug. And we know that the drug Tirzepatide or its similar drugs, semaglutide and liraglutide, do slow down the way your digestive system functions. And by slowing that down, it accelerates the development of gallstones. Now, Susan unfortunately died of pancreatitis, and it is possible that the Tirzepatide made her gallbladder a bit slower. The stones ejected a bit of sludge, and that went down and triggered pancreatitis. And pancreatitis can be a serious illness. When we prescribe Tirzepatide, we always ask patients about symptoms of indigestion, bloating after meals, burping, the typical symptoms of gallstones. And if people have suggestions of that, they should have an ultrasound scan before they start these medications so that their gallstones can be treated. And then it's safe to take. You won't get pancreatitis. So unfortunately, I think Susan was just really, really unlucky to get this. I don't think the drug after 2 doses caused the pancreatitis because of the drug. I think it just probably accelerated the gallstones. And we know that 1 in 10 people has gallstones. They are very, very common.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we know that Susan did the right thing. She went to the hospital. She was very honest about her treatment. I've got a reply here from the MHRA Chief Safety Officer, Dr. Alison Cave. She said, patient safety is our top priority. No medicine would be approved unless it met our expected standards. New medicines are more intensively monitored to ensure that any new safety issues are identified promptly. We encourage patients and healthcare professionals to continue reporting suspicious unsuspected side effects through our yellow card system when a safety issue is confirmed. We always act promptly.
Manjaro maker Lily said patient safety is Lily's top priority. We're committed to continually monitoring, evaluating and reporting safety information for all Lily medicines. We provide information about the benefits and risks of all our medicines to regulators to ensure the latest information is available for prescribers. If anyone has experienced any side effects, they should talk to their doctor or healthcare professional.
Yes, immediately, I think, is what we've learned from Susan's experience. Thank you so much for coming today and talking about it.
Sorry about your loss.
Thank you so much.
Because the more it gets out there, the more it could help other people too.
I think it's an awareness piece. People need to know that they need to speak to their GPs, they need to do their research. So you're welcome.
Thank you, Jade. And thank you, Dr. Shaw, too. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.